Hello, and welcome to the Handicapable Black Women Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hi, hello, how are my royalties, my beauties, my just lovely, amazing people? Okay, let's get some boiling hot, just steaming hot petty tea. And or if you like it cold, you can sip it cold, but hold the ice. Yeah, hold the ice. Get your whistle out if you got. Yeah. Anyway. So today, I'm gonna be going in just a crazy order with my episodes because am I gonna talk about Rebecca a lot? No, not necessarily. If you don't know what I'm talking about, back up a couple episodes, because I've got a hater, and not just a hate, I, just someone who, in my opinion, is absolutely out of their mind, crazy, delusional, and a bigot. Yeah, and so I'm going to be talking about topics around her and others because the thing is, this was on my to-do list, but I was like, well, is it the time? Maybe. I don't know. Because, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm just going to talk about this subject, and because I was going to talk about and remind you guys how I've been talking about the mirroring effect within marketing and also influencers and things, and well, now also the churches, and it's like influences everywhere, but also the mirroring. People follow and go with who they relate to or want to relate to, which is one reason we got the orange guy in the all, because people want to be like him. People dream to be like him. They crave either the money or the bullying or manipulation or the greediness or the treatment of women. Yeah, heavy emphasis on the treatment of women, and which is one reason why we have a male epidemic, like their loneliness epidemic right now, because of, like, they crave to be able to treat us just like how a lot of the Epstein guys treated women. They don't see anything wrong because, like, remember, you have to see how a lot of them want to vote to take our rights away, our right to vote away. A lot of them want to be able to take away government assistance, so that will take the woman's freedom to choose, freedom to be, like, at least somewhat independent, but some were going to say somewhat independent, but independent in as much of the ways that she can. They want to turn it back to the olden days where a woman had to get married. It wasn't out of love, it was out of necessity. And part of me just wonders, guys, like, you do not care if the woman likes you or loves you. You only care that you get access to her. Which reminds me of a video that I saw a few times on Facebook, where this black guy was being interviewed and they were discussing things, and he was saying he's going to tell a woman what she wants to hear. She knows what that she wants a long term, and he know, like, they know what each other, well, no, they both know. Yeah, okay, I was going to say it right. They both know what she wants, but the guy is going to mirror her, pretend, and agree, which is why I say talk about politics. Talk about politics at the beginning. Talk about anything and everything that matters to you, ladies, at the beginning. Because some of these men are going to lie. Some of these men are going to just, oh, I don't know. It's up to you. Oh, as long, whatever you like, whatever you, no. Tell them to say it in words. Tell him to use his words. Just like when kids are little, a lot of these men right now, they're trying to be as quiet as possible because they want to be able to trick you into the relationship. And like I was saying with politics, a lot of these men are trying to take away our rights, our, like, the feminism and the feminists and things like that, because they don't want you to be able to choose. They don't want you to be able to love. They don't want that. They don't care about that. They want the power and the access of you. What's love got to do with it? I have titles with that, because like every time, like when I was little, I loved listening to that song. And then while getting like older and starting to date, I realized how much truth was in that, because the Disney movies, the princess movies, yeah, happily ever after, not so, the whole lot, like, yes, there is love, there is authentic love, but a lot of, well, a lot, okay, I'll say a lot of people, just because, when women aren't perfect either, and I've met some awful, conniving, terrible, despicable women. Isn't that right, Rebecca? Okay, but okay, a lot of people are too lazy to communicate. A lot of people are too, let's see, selfish to either manage money, share money, or have the discipline to manage their own money. So then they want to like get the credit card or the bank account of the other person and use whatever they want. But then when they overcharge and do stuff, don't you love me? Don't you care? But do you love me enough to pay down that credit card or to pay me back, and also to make sure that you keep my credit score the way that it was? Yeah, isn't that right, Mr. No Heart and Locket Key? But yeah. And it's like they both did financial ABUSC. They both did, but in different ways. It's like either literally stealing from me, Mr. Laka Key. Yeah. Like, I would have to take my purse and bag everywhere I went, everywhere where he was not, because of the amount of times he literally went in my purse and stole money. And it was to a point where I would have to write down in my notebook how much money was in my wallet before I went into the house. And because then sometimes when I told him, you took money from me, and he would try to tell me no, I would open up my notebook. I'm like, no, before I got into this house, I had this much money and this much cents. And he was like, you can, how are you going to count the change? Okay, exactly. Exactly. So you can't trust some of these people out here, especially when it comes to money and valuables, your body. It's like, no. And especially communication, because a lot of these conservative men are going to say whatever they want in order to get you, ladies. The men on the right, you got to be careful, because a lot of them are going to pretend that they, oh no, well, I'm moderate. Oh no, well, yeah, I'm conservative, but that doesn't really matter. I like, yeah, no, whatever you want. And then slowly but surely, oh no, but it's like, you know what? I think, I think you should stay home. Don't work. That's a trap. Because if you don't have money, you can't get freedom. And nowadays, money is freedom. Money does a lot of things, especially corruption around the world, and give you privilege to be able to do anything you want, including take advantage of women. Even and then other people just look the other way because you're rich, right? You've got money, right? Remember what the orange man said. It's like he's rich, so he can grab women by the what? By the what? And it's like a lot of people are like, oh, like, well, it's just kind of shocking that some people thought, oh, that's not going to allow, or a lot of people aren't going to allow him to into the Oval Office. Ha ha ha. They not only did it once, they did it twice. Some people thought that was going to be the line, but black women like, oh, we knew. Ha ha. But it's really funny how a lot of these white men try to say that there's reverse racism and all this other stuff, when all of the things white men can get away with. But you know what? That's another episode for that. Actually, that'll be the next episode, so stay tuned. But it's just it's just crazy with how a lot of these men are trying to force women back into these relationships, back to the olden days. But I know the olden days because I hear my aunts and uncles and other family members and Pete like going to small towns, sitting with family members, and they're literally telling they're telling things that they don't realize they're telling, but It's and just how they met and how they had to get married, how they had to be together, how they couldn't leave. So, ladies, if you're going to get married, at least try to have even a part-time job, online job, virtual something. Because if something goes wrong, it's like, are you going to have family you can go to? What are going to be your options? And also, depending on the type of situation, it's like the most dangerous time to leave is when you're about to leave. Because, like, the most toxic part of, like, especially the most dangerous time of a toxic relationship is when you're trying to leave, because that's going to anger him or her, like maybe like okay, and I'll say or her just in case, because I watch some of these mystery, like I'm just like, ooh, she was that cray cray, especially that one woman. Her husband was in the army or serving, like in one of the army, navy, air force type of situations, whatever. But they were out of the country, and she decided she was gonna sneak some stuff or poison or whatever in her husband's coffee every morning and stuff. And he got some testers to test what was being put in it. I give him credit for that one. So yeah, don't get it twisted. Yeah, there are some women out here where I'm just like, who you crazy? Okay, yeah, you real crazy. Okay, but okay. So in summary, get your bag. Have a way, just in case, have a ways to leave when you want to leave, not when he kicks you out. Because remember, also, a lot of these conservative men, they want that whole, yeah, you stay at home and I'll work and I'll take care of you. But then once you get older, once you have the babies and your body changes, then they make a mistake and slip their eggplant into another kitty, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. And so then they choose the new kitty over you, and then they kick you out. Even with kids, they don't care, because they care more about their bedroom needs than they do the love needs. And see, that's why, what's love got to do with it? Because a man will cheat on you while saying he still loves you, and he'll just say that you needed to provide it more, you needed to do more, you didn't love him enough. It's like, because, and that's another funny thing, a lot of men, it's like, with almost everything they always blame women, to the point where we got these Candace Owens wannabes around here who blame women as well with their I have absolutely nothing nice to say about these Candace Owens wannabes, because when I just listened to this whole debate, liberal women versus conservative women, and the conservative women are literally saying, I only vote so I can cancel your vote out. Women vote too emotionally. Who? It's like you guys have too much empathy. Yeah, it's like, see, you sound just like CK. Yeah. But having empathy allows you to look at other people and their situations and people different than you. Because it's really crazy. Because yeah, one of these who someone who fits into the can like the Candace Owens atmosphere is Marjorie Taylor Greene. And we have to remember what happened with the whole health insurance thing. Yeah, because she voted for the big ugly bill. She was proud of it until it affected her own children. And that's when. And now she wants to talk about the orange man. Now that she's not going to get her way. So conservative ladies, really pay attention to, because I mean there's more examples and everything, but that one right there, it's like, just examine yourselves. It's like you only want to look at your family, your household, because even some of the conservatives voted against LGBTQ for so hard. But then one of their daughters or cousins or family members is in the LGBTQ, all of a sudden they're telling people to have a little bit of a heart. So it always has to affect them. It always has to be a part of them. It's like if it doesn't, they don't care. And even with the history being erased, they want to be the hero. They want to be looked at in a positive light, even changing the history to the point where, no, we didn't steal this land, we conquered, we took over. So really just pay attention. Because if you pay attention, then you'll see how a lot of these men now want to treat women, how they want their relationships, how they want marriage, how they want to have power over. I mean, they don't. They don't actually. Well, it's complex, but listen to what a lot of these conservative, especially the religious men, are saying. It's like if they are willing to take away your right to vote, what other things are they going to try to take away from you? And then even the pro life, pro choice. Some of these men don't care if you die. They don't care. They'll get a new one, they'll get a newer model. Why do you think they're trying to decrease the age to be married? And or they changed it so that if you're married to the girl, yeah, I said girl because, yeah, they're not women yet, then they can't be prosecuted. How come so many of these Republican men are married to women like 10, 20, 30 years younger than them? How come so many of these Republican men are in the Epstein files? And I know some of them are in the files for interviewing, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Okay, but I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about them. You know what part I'm talking about. And guess what? There are still so many more files to go. Do you think it's going to get better or worse? Do you think it's going to get better or worse? Because again, the mirroring. A lot of these men out here, a lot of these Republican men voted for the Republican Party because it mirrors what they want, what they see. And a lot of these Republican women don't mind that. They don't care. They don't care, especially because of the church. Especially because of the church. They hear this stuff every Sunday. I was a part, like I was going to a semi mega church. Sometimes I wonder, was it a mega church? I mean, and the thing is, I'm still a quote unquote member, but I only listen like with one ear because now I'm like, okay, what political stuff are you gonna slide in your sermons now? Because almost every Sunday they did, and it was just to a point where sometimes I would try to start asking questions and ask my mom questions, and she was like, "You do that because it's in the Bible. That's what Bishop said. Bishop said this. Bishop said that. So this is what you're gonna think." It felt like I wasn't allowed to question anything. And the sermons that they talked about dating and marriage, with the way they would want me to marry, I would be suffering right now. That would be torture right now. And yeah. So I don't know, I'm just, when you analyze who you're dating, and this is why I say, and I've shown you guys my list of standards. Oh, and that's another thing, because yeah, I'm going to start going through all of the screenshots pretty soon, because it's really interesting, the men who hate my standards. And the men who hate it are the ones that do not mirror my standards whatsoever. So then they want to gaslight me and put me down because they don't match my standards. But I'm only looking for one man. I don't know why some of these men, like, okay, got guys, okay. On dating apps, you're only supposed to be looking for one woman, but a lot of you guys are not looking for the the woman, or you're not using the dating app for the same reason. And this is one reason why for a lot of you guys, I've told you, go to Tinder. Go to Tinder. Especially when there are some men who don't even pay attention. And like every 2 weeks, every month, every other month, even every 3 months, I get the same copy and paste message from them. You will find that in the Patreon. And sometimes in the back of my head, I'm just like, so you guys, you don't pay attention, or you guys don't care, or you guys literally delete all of the messages, but you don't realize it's only deleting your side. Because that's another thing I think is really funny. Because some of these men are so dumb. It's like I really think that's what they think, that as long as they delete their side, that they think it deletes mine. And I do, like, instead do what some of the other men do, and like, if you block, then I can't read, or I can only read the sample portion. So a lot of the men who have called me the N word and the C word and the B word and told me to, eliminate myself from the earth, usually they block me so that I can't, because then I can't report them. Yeah. So, yeah, there's that. There's because, yeah, a lot of guys have been reported so many times they kind of learned their lesson. So now they know to say something absolutely horrible and vicious and evil and then block so that they can't get reported. Mm-hmm. And or if they do get reported, then they turn around and use a different email and then make a new profile and then go right back to those same people and harass them all over again. Yeah. But a lot of these guys, they're bullying. A lot of these guys have a lot in well, they're not billionaires, and there's no way that they can ever get into the office because well, some of them hardly got through high school, and or well, I don't know. It's just really entertaining sometimes when, just by having a list of standards, men say that I have attitude. And you guys have seen it, or if you haven't, go catch up. I have over 600 episodes, and I have shown my list of standards in at least 20 or 30 of them, and I will be showing it a lot more because I'm going to be doing more of the dating nightmare episodes where I show you one by one different screenshots, and sometimes it's not going to be seen because they're going to be on Patreon only, and so you're going to be able to see the link to it, but I'm just gonna talk about the gentleman, the guy, or whatever, so that you can and kind of go over, why did this man hate me? Because I, it still shocks me because you're going to hate a woman for saving her time. You're going to hate a woman for saving her time. I have dated for years and wasted time and energy on pathetic, awful, terrible men for years. It's like, because everyone kept telling me, you need to give him a chance. You have to be patient. You have to be nice. And then, okay, this is going to go to the mothers. Okay, moms, be careful what you tell your daughters. Be careful what you tell your daughters, because sometimes when you see the men that she brings over, sometimes you're just like, dang, she's settling. Why she bring this hot mess? I don't want this man like anywhere near. Like, no, I don't want grandkids by him, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes she's dating the result of who you taught her who to date. Because, for example, my mother, you guys already know, like, you'll catch up if you don't know. As long as you walk like that, no one's ever going to want you, love you, or marry you. That is in the back of my head. still in the back of my head. While dating now, sometimes I wonder, how did I end up with such an amazing man? And or if my walking gets any worse, or if I was born differently, would he care about me more? Or would I be able to do like what would the difference be? But the past guys, I kept settling and settling because I was just trying to prove her wrong. And I was just at least trying to find someone to love me because she said no one will ever love me. And from college, Oakland University, no one believed me or cared or listened, or everyone automatically thought that I must be lying. I must be making it up. I must be. And then the doctors, they kept saying I was a liar and that I was making it up and I just wanted attention. And then family members kept like just, yes. So, but yeah, my the key person in my life was my mother. And I know, like growing up, you're listening, you have, well, and that's the hard thing, like 'cause even in the church, they say that you have to like obey your mother and your mother and father. Why did I say dot? Like, yeah, anyway. They say that you have to. And like you have to do what they say, and it's like I'm paraphrasing, but you know what scriptures I'm talking about. But a lot of the things that they were saying and doing, it didn't make sense to me. And now, especially that I'm diagnosed, especially after like knowing, just knowing, I know. And some people are like, "Oh, how dare you test the Bible?" But I'm going to like, if the scriptures about spanking and disciplining your children and things like that, like what, because of how I walked, I was, and they told me that it was in the Bible and that they were doing what they had to because they were trying to make me walk right, make me normal. They would punish me and make me clean so much because one time my mom was like, "You're gonna clean until you walk right. You're gonna clean until you pick up your feet." And so then like half the Saturday I'm cleaning. And she was like, "Okay, walk back and forth." And I would continue walking the way I did. And she's like, "Okay, then scrub the tile in the bathroom, do this, do that, or whatever." And it's just like I didn't know any different. And so with all of the things that was going on at home, it taught me that I had to settle. It taught me that no one is really gonna love you. So just take what you can get. That was the point that I was at. That was the extent that I went. Mr. No Heart. It's great because, like, at first I'm like, oh wow, he's a Democrat or he's a sapiosexual, and but it's like, and I noticed there were some things that I, yeah, I've talked a lot about it, so catch up, especially the oil change, the Christmas, the Super Bowl, the grocery and the pancake. Yeah, there's so many episodes and so many more to share too. But yeah, and I'm this is probably going to be a two-parter. I'm just going to talk about it again. But ending up dating a man who only dated me because as a black woman, he thought I must be better than her. Because education wise or job wise, like every time I tried to do something and pursue a dream, he hated it. And with his family, everything that I've succeeded, they were like, oh, just because you're black. Oh, you're not one of them, but only because you're like, yeah, one moment I'm not like the other black people, but then everything I did was only because I'm black. Yeah. But then every time where I'm like, you know what, I don't think this is gonna work out. And people are like, you have to give him a chance. Oh no, he's getting a divorce. He has a broken heart. No, yeah, he deserved that broken heart. The way he treats women, he deserves that broken heart. So But, anyways, thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.